Hey guys, Dr. Josh Axe here. Welcome to Facebook Live and YouTube Live here at Ancient Medicine Today. Man, I've got a great program today. We're going to be talking about dehydration, and I think you would be shocked to find out that most of you watching right now are actually dehydrated, and is causing some surprise symptoms that I'm going to talk about here right now. But before I jump in, hey, help me spread the message, help be on mission with me. I'm here to help change 100 million lives, helping people follow better nutrition and use food as medicine. Take a minute right now, press that share button, punch the like button. Let's help spread the word right now that we are live and talking about weird dehydration warning signs and natural treatments to overcome those. So dehydration can be a major problem today. You know, a lot of times we think of dehydration as just water consumption or maybe, maybe we only need to get so many liquids when we exercise. But the truth is most of us are chronically dehydrated. And hydration is having plenty of H2O plus certain types of electrolytes within your body all the time. Here's some warning signs that you might be dehydrated. Decreased urination. If you're not urinating fairly frequently throughout the day, probably 5 times or more, you are probably dehydrated, okay? So decreased urination. Muscle weakness. If you if you're going throughout your day and you're just feeling kind of tired and maybe even go to the gym that day and you're like, man, I'm just weak today. A lot of times that can be due to dehydration, that muscle weakness. You know, certain minerals that support hydration, magnesium, sodium, potassium, they support muscle contraction and relaxation. And so if you don't have the proper electrolytes in your body, so think about this, if you're out running, if you've ever done a triathlon and your muscles kind of spasm and seize up today, they're not firing properly, or they're overfiring or underfiring, that can happen when these electrolytes get off in your body, causing muscle weakness. Dizziness or lightheadedness. Let me ask you, have you ever done this? You sort of sat up from sitting down and you were just lightheaded for a bit, or sometimes you're going throughout your day and you're just kind of feeling lightheaded, getting some dizziness on occasion. A lot of that can be due to dehydration and not having enough water and electrolytes in your body during the day. Rapid heartbeat. You know, if you're kind of going through things and you're kind of having constant, if you struggle with anxiety and sometimes nervousness and excess sweating and some of those issues, sometimes that can be dehydration, and especially a rapid heartbeat. If your heartbeat is just beating a little more rapidly than you know it should, that can be affected by, again, a lot of these minerals. We've talked about especially potassium and sodium. These are big minerals, and magnesium, that can really affect this in the body. And then brain fog. You know, brain fog is an issue to where maybe you're not remembering things right, or you just have trouble with clear thinking. That can be brain fog. That's a big warning sign of dehydration. By the way, I'd love to hear from you if you're a person who has ever had any one of these symptoms, or a different one, and you say, well, here's another symptom that you've had, is related to dehydration. Post that right now here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And I want to tell you, one of the biggest ones that I wanted to add on here are headaches. People that get headaches absolutely can be caused by dehydration. So again, headaches, that is probably, I would say, 30% of headaches today can be due to dehydration. I mean, that often it can actually contribute. So again, brain fog, headaches can absolutely be caused by dehydration. Here are the people most at risk. Endurance athletes. If we're talking about triathletes, runners, CrossFit athletes as well, they can be risk of dehydration. So again, endurance athletes, because they're sweating so much and burning up so many calories, they can be at risk. And CrossFit athletes, some of them may not sweat as much as, let's say, a triathlete, but they're exerting so much energy and force and using so many of their muscles that they can be more susceptible, not necessarily as susceptible to sodium and potassium loss, but potentially more loss of minerals such as magnesium and zinc is another big one they can be deficient in. High altitude dwellers, people that live at high altitude, especially in areas, let's say if you're in America, in areas like Colorado, for instance, at high altitudes, Denver, that actually makes you more susceptible to loss of electrolytes and dehydration there as well. People recovering from surgery, slash viruses. If you have just had a surgery, or let's say you just are coming over the flu, whether it was excess diarrhea or vomiting, you lose major electrolytes and H2O when you have diarrhea, when you have vomiting, also excess sweating, the chills. But when you're struggling or battling a virus, it just takes more out of you. During those times, you need to make sure more than ever that you are staying hydrated. Here are some other things you want to consider doing to overcome dehydration. Number one, I know it's obvious, but drink enough water. You know, I know that I have a family member, and I've sort of watched what they drink throughout the day, and I'm like, okay, you had like 2 sodas today, and this isn't a direct family member, but like 2 sodas today and no water. So, I mean, I'll tell you, this is something especially high school athletes, kids in college, they typically do not get enough water throughout the day. So you got to make sure you are getting enough water, especially with kids. Eating hydrating foods, you know, I'll tell you, some of the most hydrating foods, watermelon is powerful. So especially in the summer, trying to stay hydrated, watermelon or watermelon juice can be great. All fruit in general, but I'll also say celery is very high, or celery juice. Cucumber juice is very high as well, but getting a lot of, again, cucumber, celery foods are hydrating. Most fruit and vegetables that are fresh, those are the most hydrating foods you could eat, but watermelon is absolutely incredible. And then water alternatives, you know, coconut water is like the best. I would say coconut water and watermelon water both. Those are like nature's Gatorade, and they are packed with potassium. So if you really want to stay hydrated, again, watermelon water and coconut water are great. And then getting smoothies, you know, and beverages like green smoothies or vegetable juices are powerful natural hydrators. So getting a lot of herbal tea, green smoothies, vegetable juices, things that are high in water can be really good for hydration, and even liquid soups can be good as well, such as bone broth, one of the ultimate natural hydrators. Workout hydration, again, when you're working out, always have a bottle there and have it with water, but also maybe have it mixed with coconut water or some watermelon water as well to make sure you're staying hydrated. And listen, proper illness hydration, I mentioned this earlier, if you are sick or have somebody who has a cold or flu, you really need to stay hydrated there as well. By the way, if you're enjoying this live training right now on staying hydrated, do me a favor, punch that share button, click that like button. Also, hey, what are some of your favorite hydration tips? Is there a certain fruit or vegetable you know is a great hydrator? When you work out, what do you do to stay hydrated? Or have you ever had a story of somebody who got majorly dehydrated, had a health symptom? Hey, let me know right now here as we are doing this live training on weird dehydration signs and natural treatments. I want to say this as well, this might surprise you. One of the greatest hydrators out there today is bone broth. Did you know that bone broth, like a chicken broth, chicken bone broth is packed with potassium? So this is another reason why when people are sick with a cold or flu in Chinese medicine, they have them drink warm chicken soup and ginger tea, right? They're getting lots of fluids through the broth, lots of fluids through the tea, and they're warming their body at the same time. So again, a bone broth soup with a lot of that liquid and herbal teas, other great ways to stay hydrated. So here's some warning signs that you might be dehydrated. Decreased urination, muscle weakness, dizziness, rapid heartbeat, brain fog, and headaches are all big warning signs you're dehydrated. In order to stay hydrated, drink plenty of water, eat enough hydrating foods like watermelon and celeries and cucumber are great options there. Water alternatives like coconut water, herbal tea, green smoothies, and bone broth. Make sure you stay hydrated during workouts. And if you're sick, again, make sure you're drinking a lot of chicken broth and herbal tea. That way you stay hydrated. Guys, do not forget here to subscribe. Myself and Jordan Rubin are always coming out with new videos on essential oils, natural remedies, natural treatments, and teaching you how to use food as medicine. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. Have a great week. Hi, Dr. Axe here. I want to say thanks so much for checking out this YouTube video, and also don't forget to subscribe if you want to get more great content on things like herbs, essential oils, natural remedies, and how to use food as medicine. Also, check out more of our content on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.